Good afternoon, everyone. We are from Group 9, and today we're going to discuss about the case about tax ethics scandal. Just a little bit of case overview. In 2022, it was revealed that a major accounting firm had misused confidential government tax information to enrich itself and their corporate clients. The firm was working with the government to develop new multinational tax avoidance laws as part of this process. The firm's partners had access to confidential information about the government plans. However, instead of keeping this information confidential, the firm's partner used it to tip off their clients about the upcoming changes, giving them an unfair advantage. This scandal had a number of negative consequences. First, it has damaged the public's trust in the firm and other accounting firms. Second, it has made it more difficult for the government to collect taxes from multinational corporations. And third, it has raised questions about the ethics of the accounting profession. Next, we will discuss the pros and cons of this case. First off, I want to know the views regarding from the pro side and the con side of this case. Maybe we can start from the pro side.
Okay. So basically, from the pro side, I see this is like the misinterpretations because it's violate the act of conduct of the accountant, but in my opinion is still on the tax avoidance part because this partner is do things that doesn't violate the regulation, but just also just use the legal loopholes to take this for an advantage for the multinational company. I think that's all from me.
Okay, understandable. Next, we can go to the contra side.
Okay, I think based on this case, the ethic tax breaches is very serious case, especially with taxes that are related to the revenue of a country, and specifically in Australia. As we all know, the Aqsa accounting firm is one of the world's largest and most prestigious accounting and consulting firms, and its action in this case have been widely criticized. Special note in this case is that in Australia, the Aqsa accounting firm's biggest client is the federal government, which use it for a range of service including consulting on defense, education, and transport spending, and even potential changes to the law in the country itself. And being the consultant of the federal government, it's a big business for the Aqsa accounting firms. In fact, it has been awarded more than 537 million in Commonwealth contracts, which is around 20% of its annual revenue. And so I think this case is a serious matter that should be discussed further because it impact on the Australian tax system, the public trust in the tax profession, and the reputational harm toward the accounting firm in Australia in this case.
So we have learned both sides of the story, both sides of the views. Next, I would like to know what do you think the impact is from this case to different groups of people.
So I think the impact in this particular case is that it will affect the former partner involved, the ex-accounting firm in Australia, the Australian government itself, and also the people of Australia or multinational companies that feel cheated and affected by the unfair treatment caused by this case, especially regarding the taxes, which is very much sensitive topics for companies all over the world.
Next, we want to discuss what are the potential pros and cons to the related partner in the following scandal case. Maybe you can start from the pro side.
Okay. So in the pro side, we see that this partner can provide these public accounting firms with a lot of clients, since this partner is also responsible for making the MAAU terms, the regulatory. So we see that client feels safe that this partner is one of the responsible for making this regulatory. And then because this related partner, I think he doesn't feel wrong because he still use the tax avoidance terms because it's still legal, not illegal. I think that's all.
Thank you for your reviews. Next, we can continue to the control side.
However, from the case overview, I think that we can see that the Australian government was entrusting the service of ex accounting firms, especially the partner that is involved, to changes draft for the Ma'al tax law, in which was designed to stop major multinational companies from shifting their profit away from higher taxing countries like Australia to other with lower tax rates, such as Netherlands and Singapore. However, they decided to use it for their own advantages. So I think this particular action of a former partner was also done under multiple confidentiality agreement, which specifically stated that the knowledge should not be disclosed. Hence, the former partner's action in this case was considered unethical and unprofessional.
Okay, so I'm interested in your answer. So, what are the ethical implications of your answer?
So, for me, for the partner itself, the ethical implication for this case consists of 4 of the basic professional accounting code of conduct, which is the integrity, objectivity, professional competence and due care, and also confidentiality. So for the integrity, accountants should be honest on their words, and in this case, the former partner had a duty to act with integrity and in his professional dealings. However, he put the ex-accounting firm's financial interest ahead of the public interest by leaking the confidential government information to attract more clients. And for the objectivity part, where they should have not conflict or interest or bias in their business dealings, this former partner specifically exploit the loopholes in the Ma'al tax law and is biased toward the ex-accounting firm's client. And for the professional competence and due care, we know that the federal government of Australia is also one of the clients, and in this case, with the exploiting the loophole of the tax law, it is not in the best of interest to the Australian government or the publics. And lastly, for the confidentiality, as we know that when using the service of the former partner, they sign a multiple confidentiality agreement. So I think that when the former partner leaks this information, it already breached their confidentiality code of conduct.
Okay, thank you for your views. And from the pro side, do you have any objection?
Sorry, I want to ask. Well, based from these 4 terms, this partner is already doing that on the integrity, objectivity, and confidentiality, right? But I think this partner still have this accounting behavior, the professional competence and the care. Since, in my opinion, that this partner is still responsible for the multinational company that use him as the consultant for regarding the tax. So, what your opinion?
So I think in this case, basically I think that the 4 code of conduct should be in interrelation, which means that one code of conduct should be related to the other code of conduct. So I think that in this case, they have breached their professional competence and due care. Why? Because Australian government is one of their client, and by breaching this code of ethics, I think that is not professional behavior.
So it must be both sides.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Next up, I would like to know what are the potential consequences of this particular ex-accounting firm's actions for the accounting profession as a whole. Maybe you can first go to the pro side.
Okay. Since this case has a negative assumption for the society, well, it's considered as bad, right? But for the next time, I think the Australian tax office can make reharmonization of this policy, like what Indonesia have doing the UU HPP. I think that loophole that this partner can take this as the tax avoidance can be done through this reharmonization. Like for this business, it can be done like with final tax rate. So like for this business, the application of the tax rate is 0.5% example. So this partner or the teams cannot dig more loophole for doing the tax avoidance. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you. Maybe we can go on to the contra side.
Okay, so as I mentioned before, the consequences of the ex-accounting firm's action toward the accounting profession actually is they damage the public's trust in the accounting profession, since this case has shown that even the largest and most respected accounting firms are willing to engage in unethical behavior, and also there will be an increased scrutiny of the accounting profession by regulators. This could include enforcing a new law or regulation governing the accounting profession, especially in Australia. And lastly, I think that it will impact the whole accounting profession to lots of clients, because in this case that the government is one of the clients, and they will be reluctant to do business with the accounting firms in the wake of the Ma'al case. As I mentioned before, ex-accounting firms' biggest client is the federal government. And also I think that this is a serious matter because it has a significant impact on the accounting firm due to the vast majority of accountants that are ethical and law-abiding professionals. However, because of this particular action of a few individuals, it could damage the reputation of the entire profession.
I want to further discuss on the next case, which is, as we all know from this case, is that this is not the whole ex-accounting firms doing. This is only just individuals within the accounting actions. So, what are the potential consequences that you think are viable for the specific individual that does the scandal?
Okay, so I think that especially for the former partner itself, since we all know that in doing accounting profession we have a certificate that include that we must comply to the code of professional conducts. So I think that this particular case will impact that former partner certification of accountant to be terminated by the regulators. And also I think that so for your information, this former partner has been known as one of the most influential accountant in Australia that has gained acknowledgement by the government to entrust the tax law draft changes to be consulted by him. So I think that these consequences will make the reputation of the former partner to be tarnished.
Okay, so that is the potential consequences for that specific individual. Next, I want to ask about what are the potential consequences for the ex-accounting firm.
Okay, so maybe for the ex-accounting firm, we know that the act of individual could impact the company as a whole. So I think that for the ex-accounting firm itself, they will have a loss of reputation and trust, because people have the public, the clients, and also the government has trusted them with very much prestigious work, and this could lead to loss of clients. And the next one I think is a financial loss. Why? Because by this particular case, they will face several legal charges, and it will impact on the revenue itself. And so in the future, it will also could also impact their additional financial losses due to they engage in unethical behavior of the other case. And the next one I think is increased regulatory scrutiny for these particular ex-accounting firms, because from this particular behavior itself, people and also the government will put very much focus on this firm specifically. And also I think the last one it will be the difficulty attracting new clients because of the loss of reputation and also trust for these particular accounting firms.
Okay, thank you for your answer from the contra side. Next, from the pro side, do you have any objection?
Oh yeah, I want to know. You said there is difficulty attracting new clients. Since this was related to some tax cases, also this X public accounting is one of the biggest in auditing, right? So is it really impactful on how clients to do the auditing on this public accounting firm or not, in your opinion?
So I think, in my opinion, people, the public, and the government sees the company as a whole. So when one department conduct an unethical behavior, it could also impact the other department that is in the accounting firm. So I think that it will impact the whole company in the country.
Okay, so we have discussed about the potential consequences for the specific individual and also for the X accounting firm. Next, I want to touch on what are the potential consequences of this X accounting action for the government side. I want to ask from the contra side.
So additionally, the former partner action have caused a significant impact on the Australian government, especially the financial part. Why? Because the tax is one of the main income for a country to do their business and for them to focus on the development of their country. And I think that from this case, the government has lost billions of dollars in tax revenue as a result of the former partner advice to the client other than the government itself. So this money could have been used to important public services such as education and also healthcare, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you for your answer. From the pro side, do you have any objections?
Okay, so I want to know, basically, these partners still follow the regulation, right? Still considered as tax avoidance. So, what do you think? How the government to overcome this situation, others than make like reharmonize this? What is it? This regulatory. What's your point?
I think from the Australian government itself, what could they do to prevent this from happening again? I think that they could press additional charges when they found that these multinational companies try to do tax avoidance more than the minimum required. And also, I think that from the accounting firm itself, they should strengthen the regulation so that there should not be any unethical behavior in the future happening again.
Okay, I want to follow up one more. So, how does this public accounting firm can overcome to gain trust from the government and also the society, or like other clients lah?
So I think that this particular accounting firm could stated that they have terminated the former partner that is involved in this accident, and they will need to promote that they have been like doing rebranding of the management, that they have strengthened their internal performance, like strengthening the whistleblower system, and also like protecting people who have like found misconduct in the company itself.
Okay, thank you from both sides. Next, I want to touch on what are some ways to prevent similar scandals or similar case from happening again in the future. First, I want to ask from the pro side.
So I think that the first thing that the government should do is strengthen the enforcement of the tax laws. Like just as I said in the beginning, that the government can make the harmonization of the MAA laws, make some final rate on the tax, so the person that want to see a loopholes to use this as the tax avoidance cannot do that anymore. And then also, by doing that, the government should closing the loopholes in these tax laws as well.
Okay, thank you from your answer. Next, I wanna ask from the counter side.
Okay, so for me personally, I think that they could increase transparency and accountability in the accounting profession, especially in the this accounting firm. I think that they should require to disclose more information about their clients and also their fees, and this could subject to stricter regulation and also oversight. And also I think that it is important to educate people on what's the tolerable rate of tax avoidance, and so the public could be aware of the different ways that multinational corporations and other wealthy individuals can avoid paying taxes. This will help to create public pressure for the government itself, and also the tax authorities to take action to prevent the tax avoidance.
Okay, thank you for both answers from both sides. Lastly, I want to ask to both sides, do you have any additional comments regarding this case, and please provide support to your claims. Next, I want to ask from the pro side.
Okay, so in my point of view, I see that this partner is not entirely guilty, because what that he has been do is tax avoidance, because what the tax management and the tax planning that he do is according to the law, and also the law itself for the multinational avoidance law, it will apply. In this document, it said a foreign entity makes certain supplies to an Australian customer, and also activities are undertaken in Australia directly in connection with this supply. So I see that this document is comprehend enough to do the tax avoidance as it says, as it been done by this partner of this public accounting firm.
Okay, thank you for the answer from both sides. Next, I want to ask from the contract side.
So I think that the fault is within the accounting firm itself and also the partner. Why? Because the partner, as an individual and also as a professional accountant, we should have to comply to the code of conduct. And also I think that the accounting firm itself should have prevented things from happening by doing daily review of their client and also partner. And also they should have promote strict policies that could prevent unethical behavior in the future from happening within the accounting firm itself. Because as we all know, from this case, it harmed the government into the billion of taxes revenue, and also the public to not trust the accounting firm itself. And I think that they should be criticized. Why? Because I think it is okay to criticize them. Why? Because I think this case is very much unethical and unprofessional for the accounting profession itself.
Okay, next is I want to know from both sides, what do you think the exit accounting firm or the partner in question should have done to make things run better? I want to ask from the pro side first.
Okay, from what I see, what the partner should do, I think because there isn't some, back again, there is some regulatory on the policy or the regulatory. I think the partner still can do what he has been done because it's according to the law and still considered as tax avoidance. And also, what the partner done, I think what the things that he's slightly not right to do is like breach the information from the government itself I think it's wrong. But what he has been do is not wrong at all because it's considered as legal as the tax avoidance term.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Next, I want to ask from the contrary side.
Okay, so from the accounting side, accounting firm side, I do believe that the partner is in the wrong, and I think that I do believe that the accounting firm is also in the wrong. Why? Because I believe that they know what the partner is up to regarding this particular case, and I think that they should have prevent this by terminating the partner's contract, because by doing that the partner couldn't have any credibility in doing his job, and also I think that they should have implement more strict regulation regarding the unethical behavior itself.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next I want to ask. This case actually dates back to around 8 years ago, or about in the year 2014. I want to ask, what do you think? Why does this case actually just come up to the surface in the recent years? I want to ask from the pro side first.
Okay, so in my point of view, I see that this partner is very clever in manage and planning the tax planning and tax management, and also because he's one of the people who responsible for making this law. I think he can take an advantage to provide a lower tax rate for the multinational company.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Next, I wanna go to the contra side. What do you think?
So why do I think that the case just surfaced now? Actually, it came back to the 2016, where the Commissioner of the Australian Taxation Office felt that something was wrong, because many multinational companies have become adapt to the newly implemented Maal tax law, and also they have tried to do further investigation regarding this case. However, they lack of evidence, so they stopped doing the investigation until recently. Through internal accounting firm email analysis, many dozen of carbon of copies were released to the third party. That it is found that many emails contain the disclosed information regarding the draft changes between the Australian government and the former partner itself. So I think that the evidence have just surfaced, so the case is surfacing back now.
Okay, thank you for both of sides' answer. Next, I'm going to summarize this case discussion. Thank you. The summary of the discussion results. First is the views regarding this case. From the pro side, they view this case as a misinterpretation, considering it tax avoidance rather than tax evasion, and argue that it is legal and within the boundaries of the law. From the con side, they believe it is a serious tax ethics breach with a significant implication, and highlights the impact on the Australian tax system, public trust, and ex-accounting firms' reputation. Next is the impact on different groups. It affects former partners involved, ex-accounting firm, the Australian government, and also the public. What are the ethical implications? First is violation of integrity, objectivity, professional competence, and confidentiality in accounting ethics. And also it impacted the professional behavior of the accountants. Lastly, the consequences for the accounting profession. From the pro side, they suggest the possibility of reharmonizing the regulatory, and from the con side, it damages the public trust in the profession, increased regulatory scrutiny, and potential loss of clients for the ex-accounting firm. Next, the consequence for the former partner is that the damage to reputation and also professional consequence by losing his license, And the consequence for ex accounting firm is loss of reputation and trust, financial losses, increased regulatory scrutiny, difficulty in attracting new clients. And the consequence for the government is significant financial harm due to loss of tax revenue. And next, how to prevent similar scandals is by strengthening the tax law enforcement, closing tax law loopholes, increasing transparency and accountability in the accounting profession, and also educating the public about tax avoidance. Next is the additional comments. From the pro side, sees that the partner did us both wrong, and however, it is still legally justifiable due to it still being tax avoidance. And from the contra, believe that the accounting firm should have terminated the partner's contract and implemented stricter regulation in the firm. And lastly, why the case surfaced recently, the pro side suggests that the partner's expertise in tax planning and management allowed him to hide his actions. And from the con side, mentions that evidence resurfaced through internal analysis, revealing disclosed information in emails, leading to the recent re-emergence of the case. Last is the conclusion. The case involving ex-accounting firm, Australia's former partners, has raised important ethical and legal questions. While some view it as a case of misinterpretation and legal tax avoidance, others argue that it represents a significant breach of tax ethics with far-reaching consequences. The impact of this case extends to various groups, including former partners, ex-accounting firm, the government, and also the public. It also raised concerns about the ethical conduct of accountants as violation of professional conduct were evident. The consequences for ex-accounting firm include damage to reputation, financial losses, and regulatory scrutiny. The government has suffered substantial financial loss due to this case. To prevent similar scandals in the future, strengthening tax law enforcement, closing loopholes, enhancing transparency, and educating the public about tax avoidance are essential steps. The case underscores the need for accountability and ethical behavior in the accounting profession to maintain public trust.